Do you want me to start it and then you do the...
That'd be really cool.
And then you can say, hey, Tony.
Yeah.
Give us an example of, how you're with the children.
Just talk really loud.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll try it. Welcome to Bring the Family Together, where we build purpose-filled families and businesses. I'm Dawn Kyle, along with my husband, Tony Kyle, and we are here to give you the parenting tips for the day. Our first parenting tip is giving your children your time so they will give you your time. It's a catchy phrase. We live it, and we no longer have to try to find time for ourselves, and that goes along with our business and time for Tony and I, and also just time with the family in general. So Tony, would you like to give us an example of giving
our children our time so they give us our time?
Yeah.
I would love to, Dawn.
Thanks, Tony.
We're really, as you can tell, Dawn and I are having some fun with this because this is what we live. Giving our children our time so they give us our time is very important. We know that it just seems like all day long you're running, you're trying to get things done as a parent. If you're a working parent, you're out doing that. Even as a stay-at-home mom or dad, there's just things that have to get accomplished during the day. And sometimes it seems like the children are making that very difficult with their demands on your time. But what Dawn and I have learned, what we've learned, is that when we give them our time, they will give us the time that we need to get those things done. And that's the tip of the day. It's the tip under 10 minutes that you're getting today. And I think the first thing, I don't know, Dawn, I'd like to share some things, but I really enjoy what you do when they come into the office, when you're doing our events and stuff like that, and you're on the phone and they come in, and I really like how you handle that. I'd like them to hear how you do that, and then we can talk more about, we'll talk more about the 5 things that you need to know in order to give your time to your children so they give you your time. But Dawn, could you explain how you do that when they come in?
Yeah. For an example of giving your children your time so they will give you your time is when I'm on the phone in the office booking the events and everything, I have 1 or 2 coming through the door, and I immediately stop everything that I'm doing, phone call, whatever it is, and I turn and I get on the floor and I open my arms. I have them run into my arms and I just give them a big hug and I start talking to them. I ask them what they need, if they need a snack or if they need their diaper changed or if they just need a hug from me, whatever it is. I just give them the love and attention that they're needing at that moment in time, and then pretty soon they're on their way and off and running and doing what they were already doing, or if they thought of something new, or I have them, if they want to make a picture for me or something, and it's just wonderful, and the time is just much appreciated by me and both the children.
I get to witness this, so I love it. And she really does the 5 things that we're going to share with you right now that you need to know to do what Dawn just described and do it successfully. And it's interesting because when you do this, when Dawn does this, it only takes about 5 minutes out of your time.
Yeah.
That you're trying to accomplish something else. If you don't do this, and then what you like 2 hours of doing things after that. Yeah. But when Dawn doesn't do this, then they're at the door every 5 minutes, and you don't get anything done. Yeah. When you need to get these other tasks done. So the 5 things that you need to know, and you want to write these down. Number 1 is to stop. We'll explain all these as we go along after we tell them all to you. So stop. Number 2 is look. Number 3 is listen. Number 4 is communicate. And number 5 is action. Okay, so it's stop, look, listen, communicate, and action. Okay, so the stop part, as Dawn described, when they come in the door, she actually stops whatever she's doing. If she's on the phone at the time, she'll literally say, you know what, I need to call you back. Something's come up and I'll call you back in a few minutes or in an hour or what have you, but I'll give you a call back. She literally stops whatever it is that she's doing. I know this may seem impossible for most of you, because for most of us parents it's like, stop means stop coming to the door. I can't talk to you now. I don't have time to do this. I'm in the middle of this. I have to get this done. That's how most of us are as parents. But we need to learn to literally stop. Now the second thing that you do will help the stopping process, because sometimes you can stop the physical action that you're doing, but your mind is still thinking of whatever that task was. Your mind has not left it. So you can kind of pretend to stop and listen to your children, but you don't. So the listening part is important, but you stop, look, and listen. So the look part is when you look them in the eyes. Now Dawn says like she gets down, you know, even at their level, if you're sitting or standing, you get down their level and you look them in the eyes. Say, hey, how you doing? You know, give you a big hug. What are you doing? What are you up to? What do you need? You look them in the eye. When you look your children in their eyes, really look them in the eyes, it takes your mind away from all those other thoughts that you were thinking about, that task that you were working on. So you really want to look them in the eyes. And then you listen. You know, then you find out what their needs are at that moment. And then you communicate. You communicate with them. You start talking with them. You hold them. You're communicating with them in that moment in time. And then you take action. And that action is being with them. You know, sitting down and doing whatever it is that you know that they'll enjoy, spending time with them, giving them big hugs. Maybe they want to show you something, you go see it, and then you do that, and then they're ready to go do something else. You do a redirect, and it's like, okay, great, well, Mommy or Daddy, I was going to go do this now, you're doing great, I'll come back in a little bit, or come get me when you're done with this. So you kind of do a little redirect too, and that really, really works, and it doesn't take as long as you think. And you actually, so the stop, look, and listen, communicate, and action really works. I know for myself, Dawn, you can't do that. Come on, we got this now. Fine. So the stop, look, and listen, communicate, and action part really works when you do all those things. I know for myself, Dawn, the biggest thing that I've noticed is really that it never takes as long as it seems like it's going to. You know, I'll be working on something and it'll just be like, I've got to get this done. And the children will come to me wanting to, oh, Dad, I want you to do this, or Dad, I need you. And I'm like, oh, I'm never going to get that done. But I'm like, no, I know I'm supposed to stop, look, listen, communicate, and take action. So I'll stop, I'll look at them, I'll communicate, I'll go, you know, do what it is that they're asking. And then it's like done. Then I'm like back. And a lot of times I'm like, okay, Dad, thanks. And they're gone. I'm like, oh, you know, wow. And then the awesome part is that whatever I was working on, it's like I'll do better at it. I'll get it done quicker. In other words, I've taken a break. I've taken an emotional break, a mental break, a physical break, just by doing that. So when we understand that giving our children our time, when you give your children your time, it gives you a break. You know, that's really, they're here to lift us up. They're not here to drain us. You know, so often we think they're draining us and we're not getting anything done. But when we really give them our time, we get lifted up, we get refilled, we get filled up, and then we can go do whatever that task was, sometimes in half the time, and a lot of times even better than we would have done it otherwise, because we've gotten that fill of them and spent that time with them. So that's really what we've noticed. This tip is invaluable. It works every time when you apply it. So remember those 5 things that you need to know. What are they, Dawn?
Stop, look, listen, communicate, and take action.
That's right. And you've heard it here on Bring the Family Together. You know, you can get all this in our Guide to Parenting that's on our website at bringthefamilytogether.com. That Guide to Parenting is awesome. It's got our book in it. It's got all these great tips in it. And it's got a 4-week plan, a worksheet plan out. 4 weeks of exercises for your family, parenting exercises. They're awesome. So you want to get that Guide to Parenting. In fact, you want to get that before you get any of our DVDs or CDs or anything. It'll really be helpful. But we know this tip of giving your children your time, and they will give you your time, was very valuable for you today. We know it has been awesome for our lives, and it will be for yours too. God bless you, and have an awesome day.